Yeah, I'm gonna keep it a beam. I could edit a proper intro and everything, but it's like the lifestyle's just crazy right now. But I'll probably focus on editing a proper intro. But yeah, what's up, everybody? I'm Tuto, and by the time this drops, it will be my birthday, and I am pushing 23. Unk status. Alright, just to keep it brief, I just make hip hop commentary and content, and there's other stuff I do outside of that, but for the sake of YouTube, I primarily make commentary on TikTok. Did become more consistent on Twitter, and I see that's working out for me. And guess now I'm starting YouTube just to keep the momentum, because I feel like I've been doing TikTok videos on hip hop for so long. I think YouTube is just the next step for me to like really put myself out there and to see how far I can take this hip hop commentary thing. And yeah, that's what I do. Um, I wish I could really get into it like that, but I really don't have an idea for what my first YouTube video should be. It's not really my first. I just deleted everything else because I didn't think people would fuck with me, but like I'm definitely at a comfortable place to really post consistently on YouTube. So yeah. This is all I got. Brief intro. I'm Tuto Ramakarane, also known as Totem, straight from the Val. I don't act like it, but I'm really from here, born and raised, and I'm currently based so far. Hopefully in the foreseeable future I move out and I can do more stuff with hip hop. It's just I live far away from where the action is. And in terms of my where my enthusiasm for local hip hop started, let me say for hip hop in general, my core memory of like really comprehending what I was listening to was hip hop, and I really liked it, was when Wayne dropped the Carter 3, and I was like 5 at the time. But when he dropped the Carter 3, I was like, oh shit, this is a me thing. This is a me thing. And in terms of essay hip hop, and like really not only making a separation of the two, but actually being dedicated to like local rap, I'd say it was, I don't remember the age, but I would say it was when it was Shizness. Everybody at the time was talking about Shizness. It was like the it thing. When it was like Shizness and Reese had his episode. That's also the first time I became a fan of Reese, but it's like once I really tapped in, I was like, oh nah, we actually have cool rappers here outside of America, like right here. And that just grew over time from like high school, like that's when I was like, okay, SA hip hop is the shit. And I would just yap about SA hip hop with like my friends back in high school. And it just became like a very core part of my life. Like, I don't think, as much as I've tried to quit making commentary, content, and so forth, I don't think I'll ever escape this thing. Because it's like, bro, I have discussions with my friends. They're like, dog, you're too hip hop not to do this thing. You're really not. And they're right. They're really right. Like, hip hop is just such an integral thing in my life, where it's like, it doesn't make sense that our hip hop, especially like globally, I know hip hop is cool, but I don't think people in SA really appreciate the hip hop we have. And I think because there's a lack of content for it. So I was like, maybe if I make content about this thing I really love, y'all see how much I love it and probably love it the same way. And I guess that's the reason why I make the content that I make. And I started making content after matric, and I don't know. I guess for me, it was a thing of I grew up watching P that G back in the day. Like, shout out to him. Like, I don't think I'd ever consider making content had I not see his. But even with that, another core reason why I wanted to make content on TikTok is that hip hop content would probably become a thing on TikTok because this was when it was like still COVID and people were really taking content seriously everywhere. And it was like, I'd always see Americans do album breakdowns of their albums. And I would always constantly comment, yo, react to Nasty C, react to Aries. You know, just trying to get their attention. Like, they'll see it, but they'll never get into it. And if they do, it'll be a thing of, unless other South Africans comment on them to listen to so-and-so. And I was like, I'm going to take power into my own hands and make content on the music I want to comment on. So I basically made the content I wanted to see. And that started around like 2022. But this was when I really spoke on TikTok. It was just like niggas no. It would just be me and my forehead. Because I was so camera shy at the time. It was just me and my forehead. Just typing my hot takes. Because also what I was planning on at the time was say the most outlandish things about SA hip hop to provoke people into thinking, what do I know about the genre? And rap as a response. People agreed with my takes, and I seem to have a thing of just having my opinions. And I didn't necessarily lock in content-wise at the time until, this is very essential to the totem lore, until Mzansi Prolific Connect reposted my videos on Instagram, and all of my homies are like, hey dog, your stuff is on Instagram. And I'm like, where? I don't post on Instagram. I don't think I have motion to be noticed on Instagram at the time. And yeah, that's when I realized, oh, I can actually do a thing by making content. And the more I posted, the more comfortable I got on camera. And eventually I spoke out my opinions. And, you know, 5 years later, we're here now. And I've been privileged to not only go to the shows I wished I could go to. You know, I've been privileged to actually talk to the artists themselves. The artists interact with my stuff. Other commentators that are well known, that are like more experienced than I am. I've been privileged to have them like really see me and support what I do. And, you know, it's just a thing of like, I never thought the content I'd make would take me to certain rooms and spaces. Even outside of hip-hop commentary, like, I just left the house doing the most unconventional things where it's like, I would never see myself do these things, but I did it because of the love for the genre. So I'm always grateful for hip-hop for like opening doors for me. And I think the more I do content like this, the more it'll open doors for me. And yeah, I really don't have an end goal. If I have to be real with you, I just want everybody to love this genre as much as I do. That's just what it is. Okay, so the reason why I go by Tuto and not just Totem anymore, also essential to the Totem lore. Unc's Corner, aka Tato, aka Totem. Yes, his name is also Totem. I don't know how exactly we knew each other online, but it definitely has to do with World's Planet for sure. Also essential to the Totem lore, but more on that later. Yeah, I just interacted with his lives because he just makes hip-hop content, and the more I ask questions as to why he did the stuff that he did, I've come to realize he's been doing hip-hop commentary for like a while. He was just not that known at the time. And, you know, the more consistent he was on TikTok, he became Ank's Corner. And he already had the rap name Totem for a while. And then we just called him Ankh because it's like, you Ankh. You know, you're putting us on, you're giving us the wisdom as the young bros. So we're calling you Ankh. Because Ankh at the time was like an insult. But when we said it, it was more so a term of endearment and respect. Because it's like, yo, you really putting us onto hip hop. So hence Ankh's Corner. And yeah, that's why, out of respect for him, because I really do think of him highly in the commentary space. And I was just like, you know what, let me just drop my totem. Because it's like, there's already a totem that exists that speaks for hip hop. It'd be weird if there's both of us doing the same thing with the same name. Unfortunately, y'all niggas don't want to let it go. So I just use it. I use my real name and totem kind of like the same way as Donald Glover does with Childish Gambino. And yeah, that's why I go by Tuto mostly. And other than that, I don't know when it was, but it was at the concept store. Vol Hip Hop Lore. If you know, you know. It was at the concept store. And one of the homies just pulled up on me. He's like, what's your name? I fuck with your fit. And I was like, I'm Totem. Then he's like, you look like a totem. I know he didn't mean it as an insult, but it didn't sit well with me with the way he said it. And I think because I'm so tapped in with local stuff and I don't want to say I'm patriotic, but it's like I'm 10 toes to like changing the perspective of what South Africans think other South Africans should look and sound like. And I'm like, let me just take my actual name, Tuto Ramakarani, and just stick with it, bro. Like, I'm Tuto. Yes, I'm Totem online. I'm Totem in hip hop, but it's like, I'm Tuto everywhere else, even in this hip hop thing. And that should be the thing that I want people to know me as. Not necessarily as a stage name, but as someone that just loves the genre. And yeah, that's why some people referred to me as Tote, because they probably saw me from like back in 2022. Or, you know, they just don't want to call me Tuto. They just want to call me Tote or Totem, either or. And yeah, Tuto, Totem, same brew. And then there's Ankh's Corner, who's also Totem, but everybody knows him as Ankh or Tato. It's not as consistent, but outside of doing content on my account, I do work with Mzansi Prolific Connect a lot. Only just because they were the first people to really put me on, and I have a real good relationship with the team. Like, yeah, like, also it's Val Brews working together. I really have to support my people. Even though it's not really a thing where it's like Vol people work together, especially in hip hop, but it's like I take pride in my city. So whenever Mzansi Prolific Connect or just anybody involved wants to work up on something, I'm down to do it. So outside of my space, you'll see me with Mzansi Prolific Connect a lot. And other than that, there is this thing. I didn't want it to make it a main thing on YouTube because I feel like I want people to find Summer Crib organically. But I guess since brews have been asking what's Summer Crib, who's Summer Crib, how do I become a member, this is the part where I have to explain what that is. But yeah, Summer Crib is basically a collective of artists that I put together. And we just make music and stuff. We haven't made music together officially on all platforms. But members are working with each other here and there on their own projects. But like, the brews that I don't like it when people assume I just have an entourage. It's really Summer Crib, bro. Like, it's not Tuto and friends. It's Summer Crib. Yeah, it's just the homies that make music that's not necessarily the norm this side, even though there's members outside of the Vol, but it's like, they don't make Vol rap or rap in general, but it's like, their music is dope, and I feel like I should use my platform on TikTok to put on my friends, and it just became a whole thing where it's like, I'm somewhat the manager of the group or the A&R of the group, And I use my platform and my connects to help the bros speed up their music, especially where it's like they don't make popular music, if for a lack of words. Like their sound is niche, but it's really good. So that's what I do. And members, Logan Archer, Jeremy Avenue, Eden South, World's Planet, Jean Coast, and yeah, that's about it. Including myself, obviously, but that's about it. I would talk about the member that left, but not on my platform. I know niggas want to know what the fallout was really about, but I can't really speak on it. Not because it's like I don't want to. It's just the beef is fresh. I'm gonna just keep it a bean. The beef is still fresh, but I feel like we just had a misunderstanding. It's not what it was, but it's just the political answer I can give you right now. Like, we just had a misunderstanding, and homie left, and we're still kicking as the group. And yeah, other than commentary and Summer Crib, recently I've taken editing seriously. It looks sloppy now because it's YouTube and I yap a lot. Like, we're probably at like 16 minutes, give or take, at this point of the video, but I like to edit, and I don't know, I'm just very artistic. I don't know, I just like doing cool stuff that involves hip-hop, so I don't want to limit myself into one thing. Just know if it involves hip-hop, I'm there. So I don't know, that's why it's like, in terms of an end goal, I really don't know what that is, because I could do anything I put my mind to as long as it's hip-hop and I have the resources and the connections available. I really can do it all if I put my mind to it. And I guess that's the YouTube introduction. In terms of what I'll post, I'll just post like what's happening currently in SA hip hop, like every Tuesday, because it's probably dropping Tuesday on my birthday. So every Tuesday, weekly catch-ups. And with Thursdays, I love albums. Like, I'm an album person, so I'll probably do album breakdowns on Thursdays of albums I've been really messing with. And hopefully I become consistent, because I want to do Tuesdays and Thursdays, because I feel like my schedule is already hectic as is, and I'm trying to get back into school at some point. So I think Tuesdays, Thursdays I'll post. I will post every day, but in terms of like starting out, I think Tuesdays and Thursdays plus the tea, it's very on brand. So I think Tuesdays, Thursdays, I'll just post consistently on YouTube and see where that goes. And yeah, I'm Totem, probably your favorite YouTuber by the time this comes out, and believe in the kid. I ain't no main street nigga, but fuck it. I'ma go get like on the ground. Straight from the boss, you know how it's coming down. Hey, this type of beat, not my type of sound. Wow. This one smoke. I got for the cloud. I told them, I got the motion and niggas got flows, but I be floating. With a boats ride, you know that we voting. You know I got motion like slick as a lotion. Wait. Magic powers, just like I got potions. So much trauma, no emotions. From the sick side, by the rip tide. For my big guy, hit the big guy. Hey, got a big guy. Hey. TOT.EM, you know that I came with the action. Just like Future and Swank and Swisher, you know I came with reaction. I'm not that type to be rapping. I'm the 6 times with the big guys, you know that I came with the flow. You know what nickname is T to the H and U to the T to the O. Goddamn,